I am Hansel Jinsi Bejerano from BSMT3A. Thyroid hormone synthesis. So, thyroid hormone synthesis, it starts with our iodide. The iodide in our bone marrow needs to enter the thyroid follicle through the sodium iodide symporter. Once the iodide enters the sodium iodide symporter, it needs to enter the thyroid globulin or the thyroid colloidal particle, which this is rich in tyrosine. So, the iodide needs to enter here through the channel called pendrine cotransporter. So, once it enters the pendrine cotransporter, the iodide is now present in the thyroid globulin, and the sodium will get out in the thyroid follicle through the sodium potassium ATPase pump. So in the synthesis, 3 sodium will exit and 2 potassium will enter to maintain electromutality. So once the iodide enters the thyroid globulin, it needs to be converted into iodine, so it will undergo into iodide oxidation with the help of the enzyme thyroid peroxidase. So the thyroid peroxidase is present in the thyroid globulin, and with the presence of the thyroid peroxidase, 2 iodide will join together to form iodine. So, since the iodine is now present, we will now undergo into iodination, or the formation of the MIT and DIT. So, the tyrosine is needed in order to do this. So, with the help of the enzyme thyroid peroxidase, tyrosine plus iodine will give rise to monoiodothyronine, or the MIT, and tyrosine plus 2 iodine will give rise to diiodothyronine. So, with the use of the monoiodothyronine and diiodothyronine, we can now synthesize the T3 and T4. Through the same enzyme, thyroid peroxidase, MIT plus DIT will give rise to triiodothyronine, or the T3. And DIT plus DIT will give rise to tetraiodothyronine, or known as tyrosine, or T4. So, between these two, T4 is more abundant than T3 because because 80% of the thyroid hormone produces T4 and only 20% in the T3. However, T3 is 3 to 8 times more metabolically active than T4. So, after the T3 and T4 formation, or after their formation, the T3 and T4 will interact with the receptor called myelin, and it will endocytose. So, once the endocytosis is done, the T3 and T4 will stay within the follicular cells, awaiting for the TSH in order to be released. So, outside the follicular cells, it's studded with the TSH receptor. So, once this receptor comes in contact with the hormone TSH, it will initiate the release of the T3 and T4 in the circulation, and that's the and of the thyroid hormone synthesis. Thank you.